Wow, extraordinarily large, wonderful site, and today we are finishing off the roof, putting up the extensions to the roof and the doors, and here we are right at the top of the mound, and as we get closer and closer to one of the holes that was dug to create the fence, here at a depth of 20 centimetres only, human bones. A child, leg bones I think, south axis, which is the same axis as the Iron Age burials at Thosarat, and this only a metre or so, a few metres from the area which will be excavated, which is under the shade there. And this is not the only hole that has yielded human bone. This one here I did think did as well. So it looks rather hopeful, although the soil is very, very hard. And we'll be starting taking off the topsoil tomorrow or the day after. Today is the 2nd of January. We've just driven up to Noen. They're putting up the screens over there. Won't take long. Laid out the square again, and they're just gently picking off the surface. And we hope, of course, to have a good day. Just on the first morning at this site, we found this. Well, it's a very fragmentary, but it's a base of a huge pot. Lots of potsherds, but very fragmentary. And over here, just on the surface virtually, another quite substantial assemblage of pots, or at least parts of them. Lots of potsherds, a whole base there with the pot going from it. Feature 2, the other was feature 1, and we're going to explore. Layer 1 spit 7, we have some structure and feature here. It's essentially a concentration of ash here, lots of potsherds, and a group of bones, including bovid bones and deer antler, in a sort of straight line with lots of clay. So we're going to map it all in and then call it all one feature and begin to remove it, and we'll keep the ash for radiocarbon dating. This is the deer antler running along here in a sort of straight configuration. More animal bone, and then along here we have lots of bits of pottery, and down there we have ash, and the grey ash has a nice straight line here, which is interesting. Monday morning at Noen, we're carrying on down as rapidly as we can. It's very, very hard, and it's all very similar to what's come before. A fair amount of large animal bone, and here we have examples, a huge bovid scapula, and those antlers going down vertically. I've just taken out a large pig's jaw, a bovid radius, a bovid metacarpal going vertically downward. In this corner here we're taking out a test of what might be coming up, and I think we've come across another layer. At least it's more yellowish than the red we've been going through, so it's a different colour. This is the feature in question, this bows. It's going down just about vertically, as is that bovid radius and that bovid metacarpal. We're still down there as we've been testing the material coming out. Let's take a quick pic. 12th of January, surface of layer 2 at Noen, and this circle, a bit of clay, is turned up on the surface of layer 2, and beyond, further exposed, there's another one over there at a slightly higher level. And over here to the left, carbon sample taken, and again on the surface of layer 2 a whole Muang, and certain features are arising. There's that huge pot there, which is another pot beyond it. A whole series of pots in layer 2, spit 2 here with Dougald, and over there, burial 1. Still there, but this time with the tibias in place. Underneath that series of thin clay lenses, those. Square now. We're back at Noen, and here Dougald and Nigel have discovered this clay floor, which is clearly set out in white, and there's some sort of cut that comes through here. Hopefully it'll end up to be a mortuary structure. This edge of the cut in the clay has, at the beginning of the whole pot, as we traverse up it, we find another end up there, and a series of very clear post holes. Over there, Steve is excavating some whole pots. No, that's right. Underneath these whole pots, and on the right hand side where the ear should be, we have this earring. I assume that's what it is. Very thin walled and beautiful pots. Another one over there. Over here, you see these post holes from this feature, with clay up and over on the edge of them. Yeah, there's a whole set of bronze bangles too, whereas you have yet more complete pots, lots of them. So I come across the square, under the plastic a whole pot and more bronze. Those bronze are here by way of earrings, I suspect. In U-Loke, Wednesday the 27th of November, and we've just put this extra little roof on underneath this beautifully coloured set of marquees. One area of 10 by 9, and we're opening square A1 through the topsoil, which is mercifully very soft, and scraped back in the foreground Meta's square, and already we found some rather interesting things. Down there, for example, pieces of a whole Pimai black pot, more pottery vessels along the edge. That's one there, and underneath you can't see it, but a bronze bangle, and other large pieces of pottery, very well preserved animal bone. It's soft, it's easily worked, and it looks as if it's going to be an interesting excavation. Looking north, that's Meta's square there, with all the erosion around it, and we're just pushing out, and we're going to go out ultimately to an area of 10 by 9 style roof that we've got. It'll all look very different in a month. Today is the 2nd of December, and we're down into layer 2, spit 6, at which point we're getting lots of large big water buffalo, and the first series of relatively complete whole pots. We're going on down until we find anything of significance, hopefully, of course, Iron Age burials. And because of the richness now of the material and the proximity to whole pots, we've begun the first series of whole pots is now coming out just next to Paul. And there is one there. He's brushing down another one over there. December, and we're on layer 3, the surface of 2, and we're recording, after scraping, all the surface features here are quite interesting. For example, here we have some burnt clay in a sort of circle, and as we pan over to the left, there is a red burning layer with charcoal coming out of it, and over there what looks like a pit containing large animal bone, and over here there's evidence for sand lensing, so it's super interesting. Over there it looks like another pit containing remains, and beyond Sarah's feet, part of what seems to be a whole human black. In A2, layer 2 split 6, and it's been scraped. A1, we're into layer 3 split 4, and in the far corner we're just taking up the contents of one gigantic pit, full of patchworks and things. Yeah, this is a pit in layer A1, 3, surface of 3, feature 2, and it has a pea black pot at the bottom containing 2 bovid and a phalanx, and is quite large and ringed with pots all the way around, and really has a lot of bovid bone, particularly jaws in it. Today being and here we are. This is the surface of 3 split 5. The pit is now being examined and completed, and we have up there 3 split 1 being removed in square A2 under Jeremy's direction. And just down here to the left, I've just been revealing a bit of human bone, a bit of human bone, which is intriguing because alongside the underneath this plastic, there is a set of baby ribs, a left forearm with 8 bangles on, slightly higher, more human baby bone with more fragments of bronze bangle on. And so it looks as if there's a little nest of burials in here, and we're going to go into this later, open up a new square. December, and today we're tonight, which is going to be set up over there, and behind me we have the lady in charge with all coming and going, and in front the lady who's, oh, she's hiding. She's hiding. And there we all go. There we are on the route march off to Noen U-Loke, from where we're going to do our flotation work. And the flotation work is to be done next to this nice, and here it is, about to be set up with the pump. Remember, pot in A13 featured A2, 3, split 2. Up there, Jeremy and Moira are exposing here what looks like an Iron Age iron bloomery furnace. There's another one up there coming through. And way beyond there, they're excavating a pit in A1, 3, 6, surface of 6. 4 o'clock on the 9th of December, and after exactly a fortnight, we just come across burial 1, which is a skull in front of this mega pot, huge black, pea black pot. And under the plastic there's a skull. And up there we are half sectioning 2 iron smelting furnaces. And over there to the surface of layer 3 split 7. And actually going down into the site now beyond and deeper than Meta's eroded edge. So a row of them soon, right across the square section. They have what looks like iron slag within, and they are killer. They are lined with clay, bit, but not very much charcoal, and what looked like iron slag associated. And in fact, they're right next door to Burial 1, which is in that hole over there. And you can see here an edge to this one all the way around, and the dome on the top seems to have collapsed inward and on top. That one's a little bit more gritty over there, but it still has the same features. Now on the 10th of December, and here's Burial 1, the great pot. Looking down it, head pointing due north. It's got bangles on forearms, on the upper arm, bronze earrings so far, and an iron artifact over there, plus the complete pot here, leaving the two iron forging or iron smelting furnaces. And over there Jeremy has found a tuile, which I will That is a hollow tuile, broader at the right than it is at the left. And up there is the way out. And round here we're taking out bit 9. We're down quite a long way now, as you can see. Thosarat over there. And Burial 1, still only 1 I'm afraid, is now revealing itself. It's in fact interred upside down, I mean body face down. So the scapulae are showing above the humerus, and the pelvis is sticking up in the air. Got lovely bangles, and a coiled earring of bronze. Ribs are beginning to appear. A complete pot still there. 2 features over there, which are complete pots, are being removed respectively by Julia and Sarah, whose first day this is, supervised by Moira there. We have a feature coming up in 3, split 3, below us, with the pots. A continuation of the pit from layer 3, surface of 6, just in there, with a complete pot coming up. And beyond, in layer 1, we've just got to the bottom of layer 3, finding the surface of a much darker looking material, which I'm labelling layer 4. Full of pots in layer 3, split 6, surface of 3, feature 3 rather, actually laden with potsherds. Now this is the surface of layer 4, and it has in it a number of features. This sort of thing here, a clear cut of sandy fill into black, or black into sandy clay material. There a circular pit, a very deep post hole. Down into this surface there's a pit there, a post hole, another post hole, probably a third and a fourth post hole, over a very, very clear cut. Stuff is cut into the clay, and over here in section you can see how the dark stuff is also cut through a great wedge of clay. In the foreground it's just possible to make out, I think, in front of the post hole, a parallel sided clay that reminds me of the wall at Cocktamondi. Meanwhile, on this 12th day of December, we have the pit I've just photographed, and coming up we have Burial 1, and in that pot Kirk has identified Burial 2, a baby, we think. 2, split 4, in the adjacent December, Burial 1, and still only 1. being cleaned for photography. Rings on one finger, 12 on the other. And we're going down into 3-7 to hope to find some more of these people. But so far no luck. Way beyond there, in A1, 4 surface of 1, they're removing the contents of a pit which is full of shell, complete pots, a few bits of animal bone. Over there, Kirk is cleaning the surface of 2 spit 4 or 5. So we're getting fairly deep now, we're down 2.2 metres there. With this black pea pot, we're not sure whether it's associated with the burial or not. It probably is, it's right at the head, and within it the first signs of a little baby burial seem to be appearing there. The skull of this burial is on its side, and the whole body is in fact placed on its back, head down. The skull has a curled bronze earring, hole in the cranium, in the scapula, the left scapula looks intriguing. A considerable number of bangles on the left and on the right arm, bangles over the wrist, an iron object at the head of the left femur, a total of 32 finger rings, 32, about 20 on one hand and about 12 on the other. It disappears there into section. A complete look. In December, and we discovered over there a wall with post holes. Very interesting indeed, on 4 surface of 3. Down here, Kate's trying to uncover the remains of that baby, perhaps in a pot, and down here, Kirsten's found a whole bunch of little structure. There seems to be a wall running along there with lots and lots of post holes appearing along it, just like Dougal's. On the 17th, we've got this burnt feature here. Looks like a cooking area because it's got a whole pot there associated with it. And in front, carefully scraped down this floor, and she's found that the floor has a lot of little black spots on it. And those little black spots are all individual carbonized rice grains. A charred post. It's from layer 4, A1, 3 into spit 4. It looks as if it's been put through a clay floor or sandy floor. Above it there's been a thick layer containing lots of carbonized rice, and all around it there is evidence for burning. So the post appears to have been burnt, and it's going to be a very good, I think, radiocarbon sample. 18th. Down here, 1. Sarah's working on burial 2 in there. Over there, they are finishing off preparing A1, therefore split 3 into 4 for recording. Over here, they are taking a 2 split 6. Over there, Kirk is investigating burial 4. 2 rings and an iron implement inside burial 2. 3 rings in fact, 1, 2, 3. Yep. And way over there, Jeremy is removing a massive pit full of rice. Remains carbonized rice. And there are various other structures which I'll video as and when it's all cleaned up. There's a bead round the neck. Two now possible little legs there and a head at the other end. An iron knife, 2 sets of iron rings by what would have been the arms, and another iron ring by the head. And today, the 19th, we're just about to start sections, for which reason we've put metre strings across. December, and I've strung up with Jeremy's help the edges of the square for recording the sections, and have begun already on that plan there to draw the sections up. Burial 1, 2 and 3 have now gone, but over there is the action today. Burial 4 is being uncovered by Kayak, and burial 5 by Kirsten and Sarah. Appeared about an hour or 2 ago, just before lunch. Complete skull. Humerus is there. Radius was smashed on finding. Each has, behind the head, each of these 2 burials, has a huge mass of pots and animal bone, as if it was part of a mortuary feast or offering of some sort, which is an interesting pattern beginning to emerge. And as I turn over to here, we have the square A1, now over 2 meters 20 deep. This is burial 5, and it has a long-handled curved instrument like a sickle, and a tanged instrument that looks intriguingly like a spear at the moment, both in shot. Also got a very nice set of teeth. And it's been quite a busy day today. The 20th. Over there we've got burial 4 being fully exposed, and over there where Kirk is, we're just going to have a look. A collection of 3 new burials. One is another extraordinary, really. It's identical to burial 3 in the next square. It's simply a set of bangles with a humerus or radius in, baby. In front we're designating as burial 6. This what looks like a complete lidded burial jar. In front of it there's a pot, and there is the femur of an infant, or a child rather. Remember, and here we have B1, 2 surface of 5 feature 1, which turns out to be 2 rather large pots facing each other, lip to lip. And the question is whether it's a baby burial or not. At the moment it remains a feature. It stands just at the head of burial 5 there. And up there we are taking out 2 B2, 3 spit. Spit 3. And we're very busy in this area. In the foreground, Kirsten and Kate are uncovering burial 8. We're taking out layer 3 pots. Sarah's trying to make an infant burial out of that one. Kate is fixing up burial 4. And that's burial 5 being prepared. At the far end, Judy has just found that a feature of 2 pots abutting each other is in fact burial 9, an infant with a skull, 2 bronze bangles and an iron implement. Over here we're still holding A1 in abeyance until we get down to the same level, which Jeremy is doing, taking out a layer 3 spit and finding some. I've just been photographed It's missing a part of the tibia. The feet are very well preserved. The material culturability is sparse, except the iron, a sickle, and possibly below it, a most interesting object that is conceivably a tanged spearhead. It has all the right characteristics so far. Very well preserved teeth, and an assemblage of animal bones and pottery here. 6. Complete, or very nice teeth, and iron. What is it? 4. Stand corrected. A very nice iron artifact on the chest here. A whole pot over the abdomen. Just exposed. A child. Containing a large iron knife here, with a tang, bronze bangles where each arm would have been. The child was quite big, so it filled 2 pots, and 2 earrings of bronze, one and 2, and a necklace of agate beads. 4 of them so far, together with a bronze artifact over the face. There's the necklace of agate beads. 24th of December, and 311 has found these 2 hearths lined in black stained soil. Very easy to flick the contents out, burnt and black. It seems to have a little flue and then a circular bowl. This one here next door to it, likewise. Over there he's found these complete pots. Also, these are very close to the surface of layer 4. They're probably on the surface of layer 4. And also these concentrations of potsherds, these cleaning for photograph here. And this sort of dip, lots of black sherds. Over there, on the same surface, he's got large lumps of pot and cattle bone as well. Karuna is turning out to be extremely rich. Pots beyond the head, 60 or so bracelets on the upper arm, and what looks like a huge bronze belt just beginning to appear there and there, and down by the things. So it's looking good. And it's also got a very clear grave cut through a radiocarbon date. Bronze, and come round here. There are 3 thick strands, and up here on the arm, now fully exposed, arm bangles on the upper arm. There's 3 cables of belt around the waist. About 50, 60, 70 bronze rings on the fingers of each hand, and 2 bronze toe rings on each foot. Whole pots surround. 31st. This machine broke down and it's been in Bangkok being fixed. It's now the 30th of January and I'm waiting for the arrival here of this gigantic macro machine that we're hoping we can get across to the site in order to excavate the moats and ramparts. Any minute now they're waiting for it. and I'm out in the rice fields right now. In the second bank, on the second bank, having sectioned the second and the third, the inner and the next moat, right up to the site itself over there. Long time since any of this was done. Of course, yeah. And we have in front of us burial 48, which is very disturbed. There's the skull there and some forearm and some bangles. Overlying another upturned skull of burial 49 immediately below it. And 49 is a rice bed burial that carries on down there. Not too sure about that person yet though. And 45 is a real mess. There's a part of the skull here, and the base of the skull there, and for the rest, well, it's obviously... and right alongside we have burial 52, which is very much more complete in situ, and it has bangles left and right, and at the neck, the characteristic feature of this side, the agate pendants around the neck. The 2nd of Feb, very, very deep, and in front of us we have burial number 42 here. And burial 42 has virtually no ornamentation at all, in fact I don't think it's got any. Just have a baby pig alongside it. There, baby pig. The hands are crossed in the most interesting manner. Fingers. Skull just exposed yesterday. Possibly a pot alongside it there. In glorious isolation now. We have the last of burial 42 being pulled out. And along there we have very nearly natural. Activity in B2 with burial 53 that's come out today there next to burial 52. Burial 2 carnelian beads in the head area, though we can't find the head. Burial 49 in front of us there. Burial 50 beside it, in other words a whole new layer of Iron Age graves here below those that have already been removed. Over there Paul has been very busy in B1 and is now down almost 4 metres. He's gone down 30 centimetres in one day. Here we have all the record taking, of course, and up there just cleaning up a pig skull.
And then we'll start excavation in the next few days. Really? Yeah. Well, not really.
And we've been cleaning up this extraordinary feature here right next to all the burials, which looks like a furnace of some sort, heavy burning. huge lump of charcoal here at the entranceway, which I'll be dating, perhaps. Lots more charcoal in the interior. And at the exterior here, layers of red burnt clay associated with layers of asbestos lagging this inside. This in the foreground is burial 52, carnelian beads in the skull area, but there's no skull. And this is 52, isn't it, Kat? That's burial 52 being cleaned up, and that has 2 agate pendants around the neck. 1, 2. This is the set of burials. The second tier, as it were. 2nd of Feb, and I think that at last in A1 we've hit natural. And natural comprises a white alluvium across which it seems to flow. Well, it could be a small creek or something. It's full of variegated sandy and dark cultural lenses, stuffed full of pottery and a couple of flecks of bronze and a few small animal bones, bits of animal bone. Photograph tomorrow, but you can see the edge quite clearly between the white and the fill there and also over there. It's section time, and there's Sarah helping. Very, very deep now, of course, well over 4 metres. And here, the bone people are lifting the last few burials in B2 that we've currently exposed. Of course, we hope for more. Kirk there is working on some human feet with bronze bells right round them. At least those little things of the bronze bell. Bronze bracelets on the next one. And meanwhile, up way up the top here, Graham is working on his shells. And over there, beyond the screen, we can actually see it, but the Earth Watchers are working on, with Carl, working on some bone, on some ceramics. But they seem to be tidying up for the day. Today, on the 8th of February, and way down there, we're in that stream bed, which it looks like, removing that fill. And Bill Boyd's just been down there to look at it. And below us here, we've got some pits to remove. And over here, we're into the area below the burials, burial 56. It seems that the burials are now cut out in this part of the square. There's Paul working away. Stay out of your way. Tuesday the 11th of February, and in square AA1 and A2 it's almost over, bar the shouting. Jeremy has just reached the natural down there, and they're taking out the last few little pits and post holes. B1 and 2, Bill Boyd over there with Barbara taking out samples. Going on in B2 where they're trying to get down as fast as possible to bedrock. And up here we're doing a lot of flotation sorting. We've just had the most appalling disaster averted. A massive overnight fire yesterday burnt all around us. And says wasteland desolation. The flames came right up to the edge of the site, all round us, burnt some of our finds. There's a little square of not burnt there where Graham's flotation material was, and in front the animal bones. And it stopped. The fire stopped, and I'm now just filming some of the burning here, just within a few paces of the site and the roof. You can see here how it's been burnt right over there. We can pan in closer. Our spoil heap. The flames licked right up to within 4 meters of the edge of the square. Could have got into the roof, but didn't quite. And mercifully, we've hardly lost anything. We could have lost the lot. Over there, beyond the hedge, all our bags and bags of potsherds, and the flames literally licked round them and then stopped. And the fires are still smoking. And it's really rather desperate with the rice which greeted us on arrival, when you couldn't walk across this field for the swamps and the rice. Today we're filling in Bill's excavations through the so-called moats. But one advantage, I suppose, of the big burn-off that so nearly destroyed everything is that you can actually see them, and through the trees the multicoloured tent. Scraping back and recording the sections, the photographic recording that is, so we've got to clean them up, get rid of all the rain stains, freshen them up. So there they are doing just that. Mr. Pong down there with Caroline's borrowed hat, and Mr. Joy up there, and Caroline's helping at the top here. This is a bloody great python. Just on a hole on U-Loke. It's a huge thing. It's in a hole in a bank. It's like that, look. It's of course very deep, 4.85 meters. Just cleaned up the sections, going from layer 1 right at the top, down through 2, 3, 4, layer 5, that white there, below which we have 6, which incorporates this stream bed, full of variegated sandy layers, interspersed with dark fill, with cultural material. As we look along, we can see the burial there of an infant jar burial, which we will assume it's an infant jar burial. And at that level there, we had a whole run of burials across square A2. And higher up, we have the hole right in the middle there, which has the head, or had the head area of burial 14, together with several other rice bed burials. And right at the top, as I swing across, up there we have the hole of burial 1, which now seems a lifetime ago, down a depth of 1.2 meters. And it's all over bar the shouting, really. We're just getting rid of the last sediments from the riverbed down in B1. And Paul with Sarah are drawing the section in B2. And tomorrow we're going to move the roof. Up there we've got George and Kathy doing the bones. And now it's taking out the bulk. What a job. Wretched nuisance. And as we go to the edge, and I'll take care where I step here, so we see that
Những cái lẫm cái đây mãi nó có trộn.
Paul is still doing the sections down there. And over there they're still finishing off the analysis of animal bones and generally packing up.